into the quarterfinals. We can go now in the Asian Cup with some nations shocked to be here, but other nations on the way up. Can they, of course, stick around for the semis? We're going to take a little look next. Today we look forward to the Asian Cup quarterfinals. That's right. Which of these 8 nations will go through to the semis? We'll take a look at all of it in a second, of course. A big shout out to my VIPs. They are the patrons. And if you are new, where the hell have you been? Smash your subscribe button. Your one-stop shop for the Asian Cup continues, as well as World Cup and Blackburn Rovers. Plenty of content right here over at Blackburn Rovers Seas. But anyway, let's recap our situation right here in the knockouts, where we said goodbye to some powerhouses, but we also said hello to some surprise ones. Of course, kicking it all off with Tajikistan. Oh, wow, they are here. A big 2-1 win for them, of course, to make it through to the quarterfinals. Of course, they took care of business nice and easy against the UAE. Actually went on penalties in the end, 5-3 on the night. Actually, the 2-1 win for UAE, so I'm surprised to see them here. Meanwhile, Iraq, they crash out, goodness gracious me, to Jordan. 3-2 win, goal fest that was. One with a 1 win the other way. Goodness gracious, I tell you, this has been a crazy round. I would have had Iraq myself going through to possibly semi-finals with this bracket, but unfortunately it's not going to be the way. Going through is Jordan. That's right. Who'd have thunk it? Meanwhile, the Aussies, no business, no piece of cake for them. Over Indonesia, 4-0 win. I went with a 2-0 win myself. And then, of course, down the bottom there, Saudi Arabia coming out on top against, South Korea coming out on top against Saudi Arabia. I went with a 1-0 win, but of course, it was down to penalties, wasn't it? Very, very nervy stuff in a game that had pretty much everything in it. Kicking off onto the other side of the course, but we said hello. We said hello to Iran. They held on with their dear life against Syria. Dragged to penalties it was. I went with a 3-1 win for Iran, but they are there on merit, and they'll be joined by Japan, who did take care of business against Bahrain, 3-1 on the night. I went with a 2-0 win myself. Meanwhile, the host Qatar, piece of piss for them, against Palestine, 2-1 win. I went with a 3-0 win. And of course, Uzbekistan are also through with a 2-1 win over Thailand. I went with a 2-0 win as well. Now, those, of course, were the last 16, of course. What about the quarterfinals? Well, here they come, starting right here, right now, with Tajikistan. Going to be taking on Jordan, of course. Who'd have thunk about this one? No one would have imagined this one, but we're here, and we're looking forward to the second of the second at the Ahmed bin Ali Stadium, where Tajikistan will take on Jordan. They played each other 4 times in 2015, 3 wins for Jordan, nothing for Tajikistan. There's been 1 draw so far. Tajikistan may not have a win, but they've got a couple of goals to the name, 0.50 goals a game on average. However, Jordan, 3-0 win their biggest, scoring 9 goals in total, 2.25 goals a game as well. Jordan on 58% form for them right now, 2 defeats over the last 6. Tajikistan on 75% form for them right now, 1 defeat in the last 6. Maybe they are they are a dark horse. They're here, so are Jordan to be here at this stage. One of these nations is going through to the semi-finals. Now, these two sides did play each other back in November 2023. It was a 1-1 draw in Tajikistan. Prior to that, 3 successive victories for Jordan. The goals so far for Tajikistan coming from Kamukarov, Hanyov, Ubrimamiev, all chipping in with a goal so far. As for Jordan, they have been free scoring 2, 4, 6, 8 goals in the tournament so far. Mahdi, Suleiman, and Naimet all chipping in with a couple of goals so far to their name. The odds for here, though, 10-3 is Tajikistan. 2019 on is your Jordan, of course. They look the formidable opponent. 11-5 is the draw here. Have I done what I think I've done here? I think I'm going with a shock Tajikistan win on penalties. There's been a few shockaroonies so far in this competition. I see further ones continuing in this illustrious quarterfinals. So Tajikistan, in my eyes, are going through to the semi-finals. Oh my days. Who will join them, though, on this end of the bracket? Will it be South Korea or will it be Australia, the Socceroos? They're going to be looking horns on Friday the 2nd of Feb as well. These two sides played each other 8 times since 2009. 2 wins for Australia, 3 for South Korea, and 3 draws, of course. This one will be at the Al Janoub Stadium. Now, Australia's biggest win was a 2-1 win, scoring 7 goals in those 8 games, 0.88 goals a game. Korea, South Korea to you and I, 3-1 win, their biggest, 9 goals scored in 8 games, 1.13 goals a game. Korea on 83% form for them right now. Of course, unbeaten in the last 12 matches with Klinsmann in charge. Because the Socceroos, 92% form for them right now. Also unbeaten in the last 8 games. Goodness gracious me. Now, these two sides did lock horns last, according to my data, back in June 2019. It was a 1-0 win for Korea. It was a bit of a friendly, so not too much to look into it. However, these two sides did lock horns in a Asian Cup final. It was a 2-1 win for the Socceroos way back in January 2015, of course. But the bookies on this one one, we have South Korea 5-4 for the victory. 23-10 is your Australia, and 23-10 is also the draw on this one. Going to go with a win for Klinsmans, boys. That's right, to set up that zinger semi against Tajikistan. Goodness gracious, we'll talk about that in a little bit. But moving on to the other side of the bracket, it is Iran up against Japan, and those two sides will lock horns on Saturday, February the 3rd. That's right. Now, these two sides played the 5 times 2005, 1 for Iran, 3 for Japan, 1 draw. Of course, the biggest win, the only win for Iran was a 2-1 win, scoring 5 goals in those 5 games. That's a goal a game on average. Meanwhile, Japan, 3-0 win, the biggest, scoring 9 goals in 5 games, 1.80 goals a game on average. Of course, Japan was on that incredible unbeaten streak, of course, now just lost once in the last 6. 83% form for them right now. They are, of course, still maybe the favourites, of course. Iran, though, 100% form for them right now. They are unbeaten in the last 14 and won 6 on their bloody bounce. However, these two sides did lock horns in a semi-final last time. The last time these two lock horns was in the semi-final of the Asian Cup back in January 2019. It was a 3-0 win for Japan, who are unbeaten against Iran over the last 4 matches, pick up 3 wins and just 1 draw, of course. But the bookies have Iran 11-4 for the victory, 21-20 is Japan, 23-10 is, of course, the draw here. We're going to go with a 2-1 win for Japan. They have been my favourites from the get-go, despite a very, very unorthodox Japanese approach to this whole competition. But I think they'll have too much in the tank over Iran's side that looked a little bit wobbly, and I think they have a major suspension in this one. Of course, Tamarimi got himself a red card, which is massive, of course, because he's chipped in with the goals so far. Anyway, we kick on further with the last one. It is Qatar against Uzbekistan, coming at the Al Bayt Stadium. Now, these two sides have locked horns, 13 times done 6. We've got 3 wins for Qatar, 10 for Uzbekistan, 0 draws. Of course, Qatar 3-0 win, the biggest, scoring 9 goals in 13 games, 0.69 goals a game. Uzbekistan's 5-1 win, the biggest, scoring 21 goals in 13 matches, 1.62 goals a game. They are, of course, unbeaten in at least the last 6 games, 75% form for Uzbekistan. Meanwhile, Qatar on 83% form for them right now, winning 5 of the last 6. But Uzbekistan, go back to them, they are unbeaten in the last 10 matches. Now, these two sides did look horns back last time, back in October 2018. 2-0 win it was for Uzbekistan on this one. Goals coming from Afif. From Qatar, chipped in with 4 goals so far. As for Uzbekistan, goals from Tugbeniev and Fazuliev, all chipping in with a couple of goals as well. The bookies odds for this one then, shall we? We do have Qatar 13-8 for the victory, 19-10 is, of course, the draw. 2-1 is your Uzbekistan here. I am going to go with a 2-0 win for Qatar. I really don't want to believe this. I would love to see Uzbekistan go through to a semi-final to set up a Tajikistan, South Korea, a Japan, Uzbekistan semi. That would be an absolute zing-zong affair, because we got really tasty semi-finals, which could result in very possible, humongously entertaining possible finals. But anyway, that's what I would like to see. But I do think Qatar will have too much in the tank. A quick look at the odds then, shall we? We got Uzbekistan 16-1, of course, to go the distance. They do have the more difficult of avenues to that final. Australia are, we'll get to Australia, actually 16-1 ain't that bad. Jordan have got 20-1. Tajikistan are at 50-1, of course. So then Qatar are at 8-1. Iran are at 6-1. Australia are 5-1. South Korea 11-4. Second favourites Japan remain numero uno at 6-4. That's, of course, the odds of the bookies. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. Who is your tip for the title? I'm interested to see who you think will go the way. Anyway, that's it, guys. I'll be back for those semi-finals. And again, don't forget to check out the individual previews on the show, on the channels right here at Blackburn Overseas. Until then, subscribe, thumbs up. Catch you later. I'm excited for these quarters. Are you? Let me know down below.